And we're saying all of this so you develop empathy for Satan. So you kind of want him to succeed in the end, because if he doesn't, then he dies.
Welcome to Saints Unscripted. My name is Fishy, and some of you may remember me back when the show was formerly known as Three Mormons. Bet you didn't think I'd come back from retirement to host another episode, did you? In preparation for General Conference this weekend, today we'll be reviewing some of our favorite clips from past General Conference episodes. As President Nelson says, take your vitamins and hold on. Let's get started.
If you haven't heard of General Conference before, or like you're new to the church or the show, every 6 months, biannual, the church gathers metaphorically, meaning we watch TV. But there is the conference center in Salt Lake City, Utah, where you gather and listen to the words of the prophet, the apostles, and the leaders of the church, the general authorities. They have prepared these talks with lots of study, lots of prayer, and they almost always touch things that the church as a whole needs to focus on. And very much as in olden days, when the prophet speaks, you listen, because those are things happening right now. General Conference is that. The prophet speaks, that's what we need to pay attention to, because that's what we need to worry about right now. So one of my favorite things about this conference was, I felt like they started off very strong. Sometimes
right out of the gate.
Yeah, so there's some speakers who everybody loves because they're very eloquent. You know, Elder Holland, Elder Bednar. I mean, any of the apostles, honestly. But like everyone kind of has their favorites. But no joke, the beginning was just like I was hooked when Elder Holland just started off, and he just explains what General Conference is supposed to be, and then is like, "Welcome to General Conference."
That was
it.
That was epic. No, you're right.
That was yeah.
Welcome to General Conference.
How he ended his talk.
Literally chills. It was just like, he's like, drop the mic, and you're just like, whoa! And I was with some friends, and my friends are like very energetic people, because they're all like film people, and so when he said that, literally, we all just went, whoa! We were so excited.
You will see that clip in like a bunch of upcoming General Conference videos.
It was awesome. So I think that was one thing that was really cool, and it's not like it's necessary, but it definitely just got me in the mindset, because they very easily could have just started with the talk. It would have been great, but Elder Holland really invited us to General Conference. You know what it's about, why we're here, and how significant, like how much it can bless our lives. So that was really cool. And then I don't know. What about you? What was
okay? So I have
a list.
I just have a couple of quotes that I really liked. Like out of all the talks, there were just a couple of quotes that were just like,
yeah.
That really changed my perspective on things.
I'm ready.
So one of them, it's first on the page. So it's from Elder Uchtdorf. He said, "Discipleship is not about doing things perfectly. It's about doing things intentionally. It is your choices that show what you truly are far more than your abilities."
Awesome.
And for those of us that don't have many abilities, that's quite comforting, I think.
Says one of the smartest guys I know.
Haha, David and Justin are such jokesters. In our next clip, Sam and Taylor talk about ways to get the most out of General Conference.
We're going to share a series of additional tips and tricks to help you prepare for General Conference, because a lot of members tend to make it a really big deal, as we're making it right now.
Right.
And it kind of gets intimidating, like, oh, what should I do? How should I prepare?
What should I do? What should I do?
It's exciting.
It's actually kind of a highlight for me. Like, I really look forward to it. So, like, how do we prepare to get the absolute most out of General Conference that we can?
Well, this is just my personal experience. For me, what I do is, in the past, I've come up with questions, like at least a week in advance about this time. Sometimes I don't even come up with questions till like the night before, though, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's better than nothing, absolutely.
But I've sometimes come up with as many as 10 questions, and I'll just write them down in my notebook, and then when conference starts, crack open my notebook, and every time somebody comes up to speak, I'll put down their name, and if anything they say addresses any one of my 10 questions, I'll write that down. But I'll only write down things that address my questions.
Oh,
As a kid, I would get caught up writing down everything, and then I realized I could just look these up later.
Because if you try to take shorthand on every talk, you're going to get burnt out after like 4 talks.
She fell asleep on my couch. And she's been asleep for 22 hours.
And,
Like, I
and
don't
you're
even
never
wanna
going to
take
read your
notes.
notes either.
No.
Like, that's way too many notes.
Yeah, I'm definitely anti that.
So that's a no-go. Don't do that.
Well, and all the talks are on the Gospel Library app or online literally like 2 days later where you can go back and review them. So you don't have to feel, if you aren't taking notes on everything, that you're going to miss
I'll never
it.
see this again.
No, that's not the case. Like, we can go back and revisit. But I like what you're saying, where you're just like, okay, I need to focus on the things that are on my mind,
Right. Specific
what I'm
topics.
feeling, like, I'm sure, so you're like a new parent. I was thinking about a mission, like those, like we need to think about the context of our lives. What questions do we have? Like, do we need guidance right now? And going in with the mentality, those questions actually can be answered, and we can feel the Spirit guiding us
In
through
fact,
the words of these prophets.
After this episode, definitely be sure to go watch Sam and Taylor share some other helpful conference preparation tips. Next up, David and Justin talk about devil cheetahs.
We want to review Elder Bednar's talk with you in case you haven't seen it yet, but he tells this story about when he's in Africa with his wife, and they're on this safari, and they're watching these 2 cheetahs stalk a herd of topies. And I didn't know topies was a thing, but imagine...
They're like big deer. Yeah.
So he's talking about these cheetahs, and what he described is that one of the cheetahs will, lay low in the grass and creep forward, while the other cheetah stays upright and is kind of just like looking at the topies. And so if the topies are watching around them, they're going to see that one that's popped up out of the grass watching them while the other one's creeping closer. Then that one pops up out of the grass, and the other one goes down and starts creeping closer. So they're just inching closer and closer. But the topies also, they're not stupid. So they've got like experienced topies in their herd. They're standing on mounds of dirt, and they're keeping an eye out for cheetahs. And when they see one, or when they get too close, they take off with the herd and go farther along. And then Elder Bednar explains that does not stop the cheetahs. They just keep going, and they're always creeping up on the topies until the topies make a wrong move and the cheetahs pounce.
So it's so interesting that like when a cheetah goes out for a hunt, it cannot give up until it succeeds, because if it doesn't, then
it's not going to eat.
It's not going to eat, and it will die, and its children will die. So like they don't give up. They're relentless. And so I love that he explained that, like, so the topies ran, and you would think, oh, they escaped, they're free. But like, no, the cheetahs are not going to stop until they get something.
And we're saying all of this so you develop empathy for Satan. So you kind of want him to succeed in the end, because if he doesn't, then he dies.
No, what I'm saying is I'm just emphasizing the relentless nature of Satan.
Right. And that was one of the things that Elder Bednar pointed out. He pointed out 3 things. One of them is that of course he compares this to how Satan kind of attacks us, right? And one of the things he says is that Satan never ever stops. If we move, he moves with us, and he's always creeping up. Another thing he said was, we have it written down here, he mentioned, so a brief moment of carelessness or inattentiveness could invite a swift attack from a cheetah. So always keeping your guard upright. And then the last one was, he mentions that cheetahs are cool. I mean, he says...
Captivating.
I think he says captivating and alluring. But that's adult talk for, like, they're cool, and you like them.
They are. They're cool to look at, and very distracting.
Right.
And I like, maybe to add a little bit to that, is that you have these guys, the topies on the hill that are watching, and if you're not paying it, because that guy's not going to get hit by the cheetah. That guy's watching, and he's going to be gone the moment they get too close. But if you're not paying attention to the watchtower, the watch topi, then
you're in trouble.
Then you're in trouble. And so that's like another thing about paying attention to the prophet. It's just like being like one step behind, like just being right there with the prophet, because the moment he moves, you got to move with him, otherwise you're going to fall behind.
Yeah.
Seriously though, stay away from those cheetahs. In our last clip, David and Taylor share some of their favorite insights from the latest General Conference, which certainly apply today more than ever.
Oh man, Elder Renlund's talk. I think he was quoting a Jewish, I don't know, teacher, Jewish authority of some sort. But the quote he said, I really liked, said, "Do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with God." And I just think about, like, that's such a simple statement, but if everybody actually did that, like, how much better the world would be. And I love the love mercy part. I don't know why. I feel like the gospel is extremely merciful. Like, it's a huge chunk of the gospel. And so the fact that he's saying, you know, we need to internalize that mercy a little bit more, I really liked. And Sharon Eubank in the women's session, which she also talks about having mercy and being unified. And I don't know. It's just really important, you know, like, we need to not be as angry at each other. And if you have a perspective of mercy, I feel like, you know, when you're in an anonymous environment like YouTube comments, or even people like in traffic where there's a window between you and the other people, like, it's so easy to lose your temper and stuff.
Let's go! Get out! Get out of your truck!
But when you have mercy, it just changes your perspective and you're a little kinder, a little more patient. And even if you disagree, it's a little more okay.
Yeah.
Which I think we need.
Definitely. This is kind of reminding me a little bit of Elder Ballard's talk, actually. Elder Ballard's talk was all about prayer, but specifically it was basically a plea to everyone. Like, no matter what your religion is, no matter who you pray to, no matter how you pray, he just pled with everyone to pray. Pray for each other, pray for their governments, pray for the people who are, you know, who are suffering and, like, being impacted by all of these different things. And he really just drove it home that, like, we're all on the same side. This is not about politics. This isn't about what we believe anymore. This is just like, we're all suffering in some way. So let's just try to be more kind and try to care a little bit more about each other and about the welfare of our world.
Like Sister Eubank said, we're all in the same boat.
Yes.
Trying to synchronize our rowing to get where we need to go. I like that metaphor.
Yeah. And like Sister Hardness said, Christ is also in our boat. And with him, because he's with us in our boat, we won't perish.
I see your Sister Harkness quote, and I raise you another Sister Eubank quote.
Which is?
I got nothing. No, I don't have another Sister Eubank quote.
I was really hoping it was like another boat metaphor, because that's exactly what we need.
Don't rock the boat. No, she didn't say that. I'm just...
Isn't that a song?
Don't rock the boat. Sit down, you're rocking the boat.
That's what it is.
People all said, sit down, you're rocking the boat.
Such a good episode. I hope you will go back and watch them all if you haven't. We'll link to the playlists in the description below. They're all golden, like me. Ha ha ha. You can watch General Conference this weekend on YouTube and on the official church website. Be sure to give this episode a like if you want me to return in a future episode. Also, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to be notified when we post future episodes. You're all fantastic. Have a good day. Peace out.